Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show World Cup Daily Dose for the 6th of March, and we are at the pinnacle now. The final is set, our semi-finals all in the wash-up, and we're going to unpack them. We're going to look ahead and see what else is happening in the cricketing world. We'll touch on some women's cricket as well and have a look ahead to the Australian-India Women's Day-Night Test at the WACA. As always, if you're enjoying your cricket content and want to stay up to date, make sure to like the video, hit subscribe on the channel, and get involved in those comments. Let us know how you think the World Cup final is going to play out and what are we going to see in the Women's Day-Night Test. Let's start with New Zealand up against South Africa. And for the Kiwis, 173 for 1, chasing down South Africa's 169 for 8 to win by 9 wickets. The key story, New Zealand were waiting on Matt Henry's return and then played like they'd been ready for weeks. It was key early for Cole McConchie, throwing the new ball and went bang, bang. Quinton de Kock gone, Ryan Rickleton a golden duck, 2 huge strikes. New Zealand then tightened the vice. Santner, the captain, super economical, getting things done, and Rachin Ravindra chipping in with 2 for 29, including the key scalp of South African captain Aiden Markram. South Africa were wobbling at 77 for 5 before Marco Jansen did his middle order magic, 55 not out, dragging to something that looked defendable, but then Finn Allen stepped up for New Zealand and turned it into an absolute cakewalk. 100 not out from 33 balls. That's right, a 33-ball century, the fastest in men's T20 World Cup history, and obliterating the previous fastest T20 century by a Kiwi international cricket by 13 deliveries. It was absolute power play carnage that made Tim Seifert's 58, which was rapid realistically, look like a passenger walk. Seifert and Allen, all the early damage. New Zealand finished with 7 and a bit overs to spare, a statement win in a semi-final and straight into another World Cup final as they look to try and claim their first men's T20 World Cup. The second semi-final overnight was India up against England. It was an absolute run fest in Mumbai. India 253 for 7. England so close, falling just 7 runs short, 246 for 7. India's launch pad was off the back of Sanju Samson, striking it better than 200 with 89 from 42, backing up his heroics from earlier in the tournament. The massive turning point when Harry Brook dropped Samson on 15, and it exploded from there as Samson took it away from the English, setting such a massive total. As I said, England almost stole it thanks to Jacob Bethel's 105 from 48, an outrageous innings. But as I said, overshadowed by Sanju Samson. Despite the fact Bethel hit that century, India had the clutch moments. Axar Patel with 2 elite boundary plays, including a relay throw to remove key threats for a catch, and the closer, Jasprit Bumrah's end game overs. Yorkers, dots, all the composure you'd expect. Zero panic from Jasprit, and he was a star. England needed 30 off the last over, and despite giving it a red-hot crack with 23, even with 34 sixes, it wasn't going to be enough across the match. That was a record. 34 sixes is absolutely huge, but again, 30 off the last over, just far too much for the English. They fall 7 runs short and will reflect on what could have been as India book a final spot in their home World Cup. So it's now set, India and New Zealand. India bring the power, Samson in peak touch. They've got ridiculous depth. They're going to leave out players that would be a walk-up start in nearly any other team. Bumrah, the ultimate trump card in his peak form, ready to rock and roll. New Zealand, they bring the fear factor. Finn Allen is in cheat code mode. Tim Seifert's flying, and a bowling unit that just knocked off the unbeaten tournament favourites and have all sorts of different styles of threats, from strangling spin to top strike pace and everything in between. We'll be back on Sunday with a full preview, matchups, talking about the 11s, how it's all going to shape up, and how we see it playing out the lot. Speaking of New Zealand, let's talk about New Zealand and Zimbabwe's women's ODIs. New Zealand, 354 for 3, absolutely monstering it, led by Brooke Halliday's 157 not out. That is the joint third highest New Zealand women's ODI score in history. And then the support cast did damage to Maddie Green with 67, Isabella Gaze, 59 not out. Halliday and Gaze added 151 unbeaten for the 4th wicket for that late innings avalanche to take them past 350. Zimbabwe's chase, look, we talked about this in the lead-up. This is not a series where we're expecting Zimbabwe to win in games or even genuinely be in the contest too often. But they were all out for 174, absolutely picked apart by the Kerrs. Amelia Kerr, 4 for 35. Jess Kerr, 3 for 28. New Zealand win by 180 runs And unfortunately for Zimbabwe, it's their heaviest ODI defeat by runs. But this New Zealand side is taking things to another level and really pushing themselves up into that top echelon of white ball cricket sides. While we're on women's cricket, let's talk about the Australia-India Women's Day-Night Test, which will get underway a little bit later today. The big story, obviously, this is Alyssa Healy's farewell test, her final turnout in Australian colours of any form. It's an emotional centre of the match, and it will certainly be a key focus for a lot of the coverage. The series state, Australia lead 8-4 across the multi-format points. They just need a draw to lock it up. India need to force the game and chase the win to get the series. For India, you'd expect they're going to look for Smriti Mandhana and Harmanpreet Kaur as the key cogs in their batting lineup. My concern, their bowling looks thinner, no Renuka Singh, and Perth can be ruthless if you're inconsistent. We saw as they went into the longer format with the one day, as they struggled with their bowling attack a little bit more, and I feel that's only going to be exacerbated and exemplified here in Perth in the 4-day match. Australia, they have batting riches. Annabelle Sutherland will be the headline, an absurd test record. She's averaging almost 84 and has already bossed this WACA pitch before in test cricket. Watch out for the Elise Perry call. She's going to be a late decision as to whether she'll play as a specialist bat, but it is trending well, and you would expect she'll make absolutely every effort to play alongside her great friend Alyssa Healy in Healy's final test. Annabelle Sutherland is the one to watch for me. WACA history, long form class, and she's a wicket-taking threat. She is the all-round treat to watch in this cricket format. For India, Creedy Gord could be interesting with the pink ball. Genuine unknown X-factor potential. Could be a cat amongst the pigeons. But again, they'll look for a lot from their experienced players like Mandhana and Kaur. Expect some grass on the deck on day one. Potentially tough early and then flattening out for days 2 and 3. Night sessions with a newer ball can certainly be decisive. And the forecast, well, it's only one word, hot. Pushing 40 degrees tomorrow, so workload and spell management is going to matter, especially for these women who aren't as used to as the men are playing the longer format cricket. It's going to be an absolute cracker. I'm backing the Aussies to get this done. Love to see Alyssa Healy just maybe break through for that inaugural century after how she finished her white ball career. That would be a phenomenal way to sign off out of Australian colours. And of course, it would manage to split her and her husband Mitchell Starc both with equal test high scores of 99. Well, the semi-finals are done at the World Cup. The final is locked in, India versus New Zealand, and we can't wait. The early hours of Monday. We'll preview it Sunday. We're looking forward to that full match preview. There's lots of women's cricket happening as well. Lots of other cricket starting to build. We're looking forward to the PSL getting underway in a couple of weeks as well. But as always, if you've enjoyed the content, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe on the channel, get involved in the comments. Let us know what you'd like to see more or less of. And make sure to hit our socials too for those sports shorts snippets at The Chris Mack Show. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and X. We look forward to catching you on your home of the black and white of sport. No grey opinions here next time.